Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now today I've got some more Throne and Liberty news, some information. We have gotten a brand new developers feed where, if you don't know what the developer feed is, basically on the official Korean website for Throne and Liberty, the developers are actually very active on there. They normally do producers letters or they do dev feed. So you can think of it as just, it's like a developer's letter basically, updating us on what is new to the game, what things they're thinking about and contemplating. Now this one, we did have recently a developers meetup where it was held in Korea, where they had a couple hundred people from the community in Korea to go over there to actually meet the developers of this game, and they discussed and showed us the brand new region, all of that juicy information, all of the new stuff that is coming to the game. Now this video, I'm not going to be touching upon all of that. If you want a full breakdown, I already did a video covering that whole live stream. So yeah, check that one out. But before we start, let me just say, like, share and subscribe. We are very close to the global open beta for Throne and Liberty. I will of course be doing some guide videos, some more new up-to-date ones for you brand new players who have not played the Korean version at all. I myself have played this game since it launched in Korea, so we're reaching nearly 8 months now that the game has been out. So yeah, I have a lot of information about the game, so don't worry, I have you covered. So yeah, I put this into ChatGPT because the Google translation sometimes isn't completely correct. Now of course I understand this also may have a few little mix-ups here and there, but anyway, this is a very long breakdown, so I'm not going to read every single detail, so don't worry about that. I will of course, in the description down below, I will paste the original link, so if you want to read the whole thing at your own leisure, by all means go ahead. But yeah, the reason for me doing this video is actually because it's a huge W, because the developers are acknowledging a lot of the feedback that they were given from the community, and they're actually going to implement nearly all of these changes. So that's a really nice thing to see. So as you can see, on June the 22nd, we held a meeting, which is what I just spoke about. Now, there was, where was it that they said, because I really briefly read this earlier, we have summarized them into 45 points. Through our review, we have decided to accept 36 of these suggestions. So there was 45 suggestions were given to them from the community at this meetup, and they've actually accepted 36 out of 45. Now, I don't know about you guys and girls, but that's pretty impressive to me to see. They could have took into account all of these suggestions and said, nah, we don't care, we don't like any of those, we're not going to implement, maybe we will implement 5. But 36 is really good, so I love to see it. Some of them they say was already planned, which is fine. Many were new ideas. Items already planned or of low implementation difficulty will be updated relatively quickly, while those requiring detailed planning will be delayed, which is fine. There are fewer than 36 summarized responses because some suggestions were duplicated or could be addressed within the same solution, which is, that's fine. First, the quickest implementation was the arena. We updated this on July 3rd, and we are operating a pre-season to check the balance and system. Many of you are enjoying it, which I have done my own video on this. You can check that out. I disagree with this statement. Personally, I think the only people that are enjoying this are sword and shield wand users and players that have arc boss weapons. The balance is it's a mess. Now, can they change the balance? Of course they can change the balance. Will they change the balance? Let's see. There really is going to be a huge balance update in August when we get Toland, the new region. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt for now. But I still stand by what I say, no matter how many people disagree with me or whatever. Arenas, in my opinion, should always be equalized gear. It is what it is. I've said it. Now let's move on. So here are the suggestions to be addressed in the July 17th update. So Guardian cooldowns interfere with attempts to set records in the Endless Gate because their role is significant. We will modify it so Guardians cannot be used. That's fine, allowing players to challenge it purely based on character's performance. So basically they're going to be banning in the challenge mode for the tower, they're going to be banning Guardian use, which is fine because I mean Guardians can give you a huge power boost. So yeah, that's interesting. We would like to see a contribution confirmation window after the, so that's the Rift and Boonstone Wars. We will update the game on July 17th so you can check the occupation war kill records. Fair enough. The faction holding the castle has too much advantage in the siege war. Some deterrents like a long-term occupational debuff is needed. It's unfair that the defending faction can seize the siege golems. These were opinions on preventing the castle-owning faction from becoming entrenched. We will adjust the balance through changes in the operation of siege golems. Okay, so they're going to change the golems, basically. Firstly, the adjustment will allow not only the Legion, but also allied guilds to teleport inside the castle at the start of the siege, giving the attacking side an advantage in... okay. So the location of the siege relics where golems appear will be adjusted. The types of golems summonable at each relic will change, and the maintenance time and HP of battle carriers will increase, enhancing strategic options beyond just breaking down the walls. Yeah, so basically, what would happen normally is, say my guild owns the castle, and then I have 3 alliance guilds, you know, helping me out to defend. How it stands right now is you can't be in the castle, you know, castle wall, castle areas, unless you are the castle owners. So now what they are saying is obviously it's going to allow all of my allied guilds are going to be allowed to be inside the castle walls at the start of the siege. So that allows the attackers, because currently right now is everyone is outside, so everybody is fighting huge chaos fights outside, and most of the time the defending alliances and guilds, you know, can get hold of the golems quite easily. So this is going to make it a little bit easier for attackers to obviously take the golems. That's fine. And like I said, guys, I'm not going to read every single one of these questions and answers because I'll be here. The video is going to be like 45 minutes long. So, this is the interesting one though, because this confirms the July 24th update. So the following items are to be included in the July 24th update. Trait growth is too stressful to the point that it deters farming for new items. So as mentioned in the meeting, trait growth will be alleviated in various ways within the new update. So yes, guys, they're making farming and, you know, trying to get new traits for your weapons and your gear. It is a bit of a slug right now. It's a bit of an, it's just a bit boring and it takes a lot of effort. So they are trying to make that a lot easier, which is a huge W, a good change and a welcomed change. PvP battles end too quickly, making it feel pointless to participate. If you get CC'd once, you're dead basically. Pure healers die too quickly, too meaningful. That doesn't even make sense. Basically, they're saying that the TLDR is, in this game right now, the TTK, which is the time to kill, is way too fast, which I fully agree. If you get stunned, you're dead. You ain't getting out of it, pretty much. So they've answered it and said, we recognize that PvP battles end too quickly, and we will address this in the July 24th update, continuing to monitor the situation afterward. Yeah, so they're going to raise, which we already know this. They said in the dev stream, they're going to raise the time to kill, and then obviously we're going to see how that impacts PvP, because time to kill is an interesting subject, right? Because in many games, whether it's MMOs, whether it's battle royale games, shooting games, time to kill is always a touchy subject, and it's always a sticky situation, because if the TTK is far too, you know, too fast, like it is currently in Throne of Liberty, it's not fun, it's not nice. You get stunned, you're dead, nobody likes that. But then on the flip side, if the time to kill is way too long, like, you know, you're fighting somebody and they just won't die, then that becomes also annoying and boring and not fun as well. So hopefully they can find a sweet spot for this. Fingers crossed. And then they can always, you know, they can always tweak the numbers and the variables. So that's good. Then they're saying, additionally, we are planning ways to make it easier to obtain the elixir of purification with this updated scheduled for August. Okay, so that they're talking about the CC pot. Field hunting is not enjoyable. There should be a sense of camaraderie and the satisfaction of long-term farming. We have deliberated extensively on long-duration grinding, simple hunting. While we don't plan to implement a system that provides proportional benefits based on hunting time, we will address the fun aspect of hunting through the Abyss dungeons. Yeah, okay. So they're going to make it more fun, basically. They're not saying that they don't agree with making it a long grind. Because again, I mean, yes, people like myself or people like you that might be able to grind for hours and hours. I mean, guys, we are in 2024. There is more casual players these days than there is hardcore grinders. So yeah, I'm fine with that. That's fine. And then they said, recently we have received feedback that the time to play the Abyss dungeon has significantly reduced, which we will address in the July 24 update. Yeah, that's fair. The dungeons, that's interesting to see. See, even in the chat GPT translation, it's still not correct because it says inter-server Cradlestone occupation wars. So Riftstones and Boonstones basically proceed based on event missions rather than combat, which is disappointing. So they plan to modify the rules related to resurrection and other aspects to make combat more meaningful. Okay, yeah, because basically, as it stands right now, for example, you go into a cross-server war, and it's whoever does the more contribution, more damage to the boss, for example, wins the war. So what they're saying is, why is it more PvE based and not more PvP based? And they're saying that they're going to be changing those rules. So we shall see. Also, they're talking about Transmog was asked during the dev stream, and they said we had been planning related content initially. In-game equipment appearances will be provided as premium rewards in the July 24th Battle Pass. We will continue to promote the use of in-game equipment as costumes and provide them in various ways. So I believe, yeah, they're talking about Transmog, and it's obviously going to be paid via Battle Pass. So it's very similar to what they do with New World. It's quite interesting to me to see, there's some things that I see coming from New World, and then there's also, you know, it's very interesting to see was like, is this coming because they're speaking to AGS? Are some of these things happening because these two companies are collaborating and, you know, speaking with each other? And then are we possibly gonna see certain good features that we have in Throne of Liberty? Is that going to be coming across to New World Eternum? Do you know what I mean? It's very interesting having the different companies speak to each other and collaborate. Very, very interesting. Many players find it difficult to farm equipment due to the dungeon's difficulty. How about setting different difficulty levels for each party member? We understand this suggestion as a call to lower the hurdles for farming equipment. While the method will differ from your suggestion, we plan to significantly reduce the difficulty of the regular dungeons in July 24th to make equipment farming easier. The collective responsibility mechanic, where the party wipes if one member dies, will be removed from normal dungeons and the required specs for clearing will be lowered. Additionally, current 2-star dungeons will be accessible through party matchmaking, allowing you to clear them more easily with the matching buff. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, basically, you think of like Lost Ark, when you would have one player would mess up, and then that's it, everyone's dead. Full wipe mechanics. So yeah, they're basically going to alleviate that from the tier 1 dungeons to make it a little bit more enjoyable and a little bit easier. Basically, tier 2 is still going to be obviously harder, and then they are going to be adding 30 levels of difficulty coming with the August update as well. That's interesting. So what is this? One item will be implemented alongside the expansion of the Toland area on August 21st. Separate the dimensional points of upper and lower dungeons to give reasons for going to lower dungeons and increase the activities available while allowing higher level players to help yeah, okay. That's interesting. That's fair enough. We will separate the points for upper and lower dungeons along with point separation. We will also prepare reasons for higher level players to visit lower level. Yeah, so basically right now you obviously have the level 30 and level 40 dungeons, and as a max level player, max geared player, there is obviously no incentive to go there. If you want to help people, yeah, sure. So it looks like they're gonna do something about that. That's really, really cool. But yeah, as you can see, there is a lot more stuff here. Like I said, this is really a lot longer than I anticipated, so I'm going to end it there. But I wanted to just highlight this again. I really spoke about this in the main dev video, but they are going to be doing raid content. Sadly, it is not coming until like January 2025. You know, I would love to see it a lot sooner, but it is what it is, guys. They are working very, very hard. Like I said, global open beta is coming in 10 days time. So stay tuned for some guide videos from myself. I'm going to be streaming the open beta, and of course, I'm going to be streaming hardcore on September the 17th. From then on, we're going to be full throttle into Throne of Liberty global release. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this one. Take care. See you guys and girls soon. Have a wonderful day. Peace.